to Brand X Reviews. This is part of a new series that I'm going to be doing looking at Star Wars toys, specifically vintage Kenner Star Wars toys, the old figures basically. Now, I'm not the biggest collector of these things, but having grown up with this, I was born in 1981 to put this into context, so I came out a year after the second film, Empire Strikes Back, came out. So by the time I was like 5, these films had been out already for quite a while. So I would have been 5 in around about, 1986, which was really around about the time when the Star Wars toy market started to kind of go down a bit. It wasn't the cool thing anymore. A lot of kids were starting to collect Ghostbusters and more He-Man, that kind of thing. And later on, Ninja Turtles a few years later. So Star Wars stuff was really kind of, not on the way out, but it was a bit of a low point. And because I was kind of growing up at this stage, and I was kind of the youngest kid in my neighbourhood, a lot of kids that were older than me had Star Wars toys and kind of played with them, and I was getting them as hand-me-downs basically, and also kind of other kids were into Transformers as well as another thing, and I was never really into that. So if I say got like some Transformers stuff for Christmas from like an auntie or whatever that didn't really know me, I would probably swap it for some Star Wars stuff, because that was my thing. I didn't care that Star Wars toys were on the way out. I loved it, you know. A lot of kids did, don't get me wrong. But, yeah, so I mean, I managed to collect a lot of stuff and get a lot of hand-me-downs. I remember specifically one Christmas, my mother bought a lot of second-hand Star Wars stuff off a kid who was probably about 5 years older than me. So one Christmas, I mean, I just got loads of Star Wars stuff. And that was really good. I've still got a lot of it today as well. I got a lot of stuff new as well, to be fair. So my collection is fairly reasonable. And I mean, I was a kid, so I mean, I played with these. But I think at a certain stage, when I was around about 10, I remember I'd got out of the whole playing with like toy figures and stuff, and I was more into collecting them. So really, at this point, I was getting toys and keeping them. So I've still got a lot of stuff anyway. That's kind of my introduction. I'm going to do a few other videos as well, but I'm not really going to do introductions on all of them. This is just kind of the first part of it. So just to put it into context, that's the kind of collector that I am basically. I kind of rambled on a bit there. So I've got plenty of stuff now. At the moment, my Star Wars figures, I have most of them, and I intend to complete my collection hopefully by the time episode 7 comes out at the cinemas next year, because I'm expecting that prices will probably go up quite a bit. I mean, not massively, but you know, whenever there's something like that, there's a lot of interest, there's a lot of demand, you know, kind of thing, so prices kind of go up. But this is my bag of Star Wars figures that I've got at the moment, and like I say, I have most of them, and some of them are like complete as well. So I'm going to be going through them. I think I'll do a video for each item specifically, individually, rather than doing just one video with a whole lot, because at least I can go into more detail. I don't have to worry about kind of ranting on like I am doing now. I have a few vehicles as well, but nothing much. I think some of them are in such bad conditions I actually threw bits of them away. It's probably a bad thing to do, because I could have probably sold them for like for scrap, literally, for like parts. But I mean, seriously, some of them were just damaged. There was no real value to them. It was just broken bits that you couldn't even salvage. I did have this Slave 1 anyway. It's not particularly valuable, and I have the box still as well, which is kind of in tatters. I know it's not valuable. I did see one of these in Blackpool in a lot better condition for £75, so it's not worth a huge amount, but it's nice, and I'm going to do videos about all these anyway. So that's my introduction. So let's start from where I think. I'll just begin with the first item, and we'll just take it from there. Okay, I'm going to start this one off by looking at the INT-4, also known as the Interceptor. Now, this was a range of Star Wars toys, vehicles specifically, known as mini-rigs, and they were a budget line. What that basically means is they were cheaper. The ones that parents would maybe buy if they didn't want to splash out a lot of money on the Millennium Falcon, perhaps, or maybe an X-Wing. These were a lot cheaper. Now, they weren't anything that you ever saw in any of the films, although maybe that one kind of looks a bit like an Imperial shuttle, but it's clearly a scaled-down version of it. Like I said, none of these actually featured in the films. I did have a few of these myself. I'll probably review them kind of around about for each video I'm going to do, but this one I'm going to be looking at the INT-4, also known as Interceptor. Now, I did actually buy this, I think it was in 1992, because by this point I was aware that Star Wars stuff was going to be valuable someday. Now, this one isn't particularly, even with the box, which I still have, it's not in particularly great condition. It's a bit kind of tatty, but I'll show you that in a sec. So, let's have a look at this thing. Okay, so this is the actual vehicle itself. there's a compartment here where there's a figure that can go inside. I haven't got the stickers on this one, but I'll get to those in a second because they were not attached. Now there's a little bit of kind of discolouring on this one, just throughout the course of time it's kind of got that way. Now there was a gun as well, which I do still have. It's all complete as this one. The gun kind of fixed into there like that, and once it's on it kind of rotates around a little bit. That's kind of the way it's supposed to go. It's not like faulty or anything. On the back, I'll just show that, it kind of clicks in place. There's a kind of a latch there, clicks like that. On the back there's a notch thing here that you can kind of slide up and down, and that moves these, so a bit of imagination went into this one anyway. That's pretty much all it does. It's got, on the bottom it's got a thing to kind of stand it like that, and it's fairly sturdy, but that's pretty much it. But the actual box, let's have a look at that. Yeah, this is in really bad condition. It was a bad idea for me to sellotape this back in the 90s. It's kind of discoloured a bit, but I'm pretty much just leaving it. It's not particularly valuable, to be honest. Even in mint condition, I wouldn't have thought you'd get much for it. This was a foreign... Well, it had some of the foreign logos on it as well. I know some of the figures are called tri-logos when they have this, but this was slightly different. You could slot this inside the AT-AT as well. That was another thing that you could do with it. I did used to have one of those as well, but that was really bad condition, so I got rid of it. Obviously advertised some of the toys as well. Collect mini rigs and create your own Star Wars adventures. You can see some of the names here as well. As I say, I've got this one, but it's in pretty bad condition. It's the MLC3. The MTV7, I'll probably do a separate review for that one. I never had that one, or that one I don't think anyway. This was the Return of the Jedi one. Like I say, this never featured in any of the films, certainly not Return of the Jedi, but it was just a thing that they do with toys basically. I think this was supposed to be, well, I'm guessing given the fact that it's surrounded by all these snow troopers and stormtroopers, supposed to be some kind of Imperial vehicle. You can kind of see on there where the stickers were supposed to go. On the side, like I say, this one I never actually attached the stickers to this. Now I'm thinking that it was the imagination of the creators of this that it was supposed to be some kind of Hoth vehicle, based on the fact that you've got snow troopers there, and also you've got the AT-AT, which I know was featured in Return of the Jedi, but I think going off the artwork here, it's supposed to be kind of part of the Hoth playset. This is just the other side of the box. I don't know if I showed you that before. This is the top. Pretty much all the same artwork. So this was 1983, so this was as Return of the Jedi came out, obviously. And that's the bottom as well, similar to the top. The inside, it's got a bit of kind of buffering as well there as well, which you can put this inside of, and it kind of packages it quite well. But let's have a look at the instructions. Now I've still got the plastic wallet that it came in as well, and you've got kind of a black and white artwork thing here. A monochrome version of the actual photograph. This just kind of demonstrates how you put it together. It's not a terribly complicated vehicle or toy to kind of put together, and you can see there that's the way it's supposed to be. Pretty much how I demonstrated it. And here I think this was just telling you where to put the stickers as well. So it's quite interesting to have that. This is one of the few toys that I've actually got still in the box. Probably the only one that I've actually got with stickers, you know, not attached. And these were the stickers that you would have put on originally. So that's pretty much that anyway. So as I say, I'm going to be doing more of these reviews. So check back for the next one. I might have a look at some more mini rigs as well. So we'll see. If you've got brandxreviews.com, we'll get to those shortly. Thank you very much.